everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and I am here with a weird video. It is a haul video, but it is going to be showing you stuff I've gotten from random places, but the majority is going to be stuff that I want, that I guess you could say I won in an auction. But there are things that I've been talking about on here and I thought I'd show you a few of them. Most of them I won in an auction that I only paid $1 for, but some of them were things that I got for $3, that kind of thing. I don't spend too much on auctions. And it's Saturday when I'm filming, and this morning I had to pick up my last auction. I don't have any more open auctions. I'd won 2 things for $3 each. One of those 3 things was a whole shelf, and the majority of it was pictures and artwork, but you couldn't see from the picture what those things were, and they looked like pictures that were about this, like 8 by 10 kind of pictures, but no, they were like 3 feet wide pictures, like artwork that you put on the wall. So that's the thing that is hard with auctions, is it's hard to tell when you're getting stuff unless you're specifically buying a set of books or something. It's hard to know what you're getting. And the place we went to today was at somebody's house, and I don't like those as much because this place was a mess. Not that it's because I think a bachelor was living there or a widower or something, but this guy was a hunter and fisherman, and so there was, of course, all the animals on the walls and stuff, and not that that was the gross part, but down in the basement where the stuff I won was, it smelled so bad, you guys, and it had carpet like from the 70s, and the power had already been turned off in the house, so they had lights, that motion lights that would come on, so it was just kind of a mess. And sometimes you don't know. Well, let me take this back. When you're bidding on an auction, you can usually tell if you're going to be picking it up at an auction house or if you're going to be picking it up at the estate sale directly, especially if they won't give you the address until afterwards. But this was one that I had the address for, but yeah, as a house, and I think I'm going to try to stay away from those unless the descriptions are more descriptive. But anyway, luckily you didn't have to take everything. So for example, there was a huge sleeping bag or something on this shelf, and you could tell that there had been mice in this basement, and I just didn't want to bring that into the car. And there were a few mirrors in the pile of pictures that Galia, she was the one helping me, that she wanted for her room, so we brought those. And there was a 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, love is kind. There was one of those framed artwork that we brought home. And then there was a really nice solid black, like modern looking wall piece that it had like 3 spots for family pictures, and then it had 3 hooks on it, and it looked current. Like, I don't know how that ended up in here. So that in itself paid for that $3 thing. We also brought home a tote bag, I guess. It had another bag inside it, but if you guys watched Hey Everybody, where she was talking about her tote bag with ants, this one didn't appear to have anything living in it, but I think it used to. So I don't know. We were kind of in a rush at that point, time-wise, and so because it was easy enough to pick up and carry, I just picked it up and put it in the van. All that stuff from this morning is still in the van. But then we also won this the contents of this huge metal shelving system. And again, in the picture, they only showed like 2 shelves, and it didn't look like very much stuff, but it looked like it had some paper things. So I thought, sure. Well, it was like 6 shelves because it was a floor to ceiling shelving thing. And there was a ton of stuff on it that I didn't want either. And like there was old appliance kind of things like a grill master and stuff that didn't look like it worked anymore. But you know how a lot of us are, we just store stuff that doesn't work anymore instead of getting rid of it. And there was a old can of V8 juice and stuff. So like maybe at one point it had been, like maybe at one point if there had been a woman living in this house, it might have been like a pantry kind of shelving system. But I was like, oh, I don't want to take all of this. And the lady, the auctioneer lady said, oh, that's fine. Whatever you don't want, just leave. Well, then while we're doing this, apparently, and I didn't realize this, the shelving unit itself was also for sale separately. Now, auctioneers just sell the shelf and the stuff all together going forward, because the guy who, and I guess I'm lucky that the guy didn't try to pick up the shelf yesterday, but the guy who got the shelf got there early today, and so he was ready to take it, and we had just gotten there ourselves, and he had come like an hour early. So I'm thinking, oh great, so I can't just leave stuff on these shelves because he just bought the shelf. And so I'm asking the auction lady, I'm like, do you have a trash can or something? Do you have somebody coming in afterwards to just take up everything else that didn't get taken? She's like, oh, just stick them. There was a full chest freezer next to it. She's like, oh, just stick it on the freezer. I'm like, okay. So then we emptied and all the stuff we didn't want, we put over there. And I don't know, like the very top shelf of this thing, it was like the guy had just thrown old mail. There was just a bunch of mail. But you know what? I took all that because who knows what kind of paper goodness I'm going to find in there, even if it's just canceled stamps or something. But we did find a box, and I haven't looked through it yet, but it looked like maybe it had been like sweetheart cards from this guy to his wife or girlfriend or something. I don't know. I don't know that they were love letters. They looked more like cards, but there was a wide range of ages. Like they look like some of them could have been vintage cards. So that may end up being what was the best thing out of that $3 purchase. But yeah, so we loaded things up and stuff. So I don't have anything to show you from that one because that one's all out in the car. But I've got some stuff from last Saturdays that I wanted to show you guys. Just some random things and some brand new things that I got from, well, they're not, well, a couple of them are brand new from eBay. But yeah, so I guess let's just get started. I will say I am sorry that I've been so terrible at posting videos on this channel lately. I am going through something, and I talked about it a little bit in my last video, but the whole thing with Temu has really thrown me because I was so like in a routine with Temu. And so when all of that, I realize now, I think that that situation has changed, but I haven't ordered since before that happened. And I know that that's a big reason why I had any subscribers on this channel, was because we all like Temu, and I still like Temu, but I'm just I felt like I needed to pivot during that period of time, and that took me down this weird auction thing, which actually I do like it, but it is work. So you're ending up being like a moving company for these estate sales because you're moving out all the junk, and it's so unpredictable what you're getting that which that's kind of fun because it's like, okay, what am I going to find in here? What lost treasure? Am I going to find any lost treasures? I hope so. But so that's been kind of interesting, but it's a totally different viewing experience for you guys to watch these kind of videos. So I don't know. It's just really thrown me and I'm not handling it very well. Plus, it's a really stressful time at work right now. There's a lot of things that I have to do. You may remember months and months ago, I talked about how we had a guy that was coming in to volunteer to help in the finance department, which I'm the finance department. That's it. Well, we're not, as of Monday, we're not working with him anymore. So now it's all back on me, and which is fine, but it's just stressful. And I guess as I age, I'm not handling the stress as well. Like I used to really thrive when there was so much stuff going on, but now it's like I'm almost 50. I don't want to be dealing with all of this stress at once, I guess. I don't know. And then my oldest daughter, Gabby, graduates high school next Saturday. And so they're just, and because it's the end of the school year, there's, end of the year concerts and ceremonies and stuff to go to. So it just I feel disconnected. And I feel again like I need another week off from work, but I don't spend my time well when I do have it. So I don't know what the solution is, but so I feel tired a lot and I don't know. And then I don't have anything to show you guys for this. I'll show you guys once I get it rebuilt. But Joann fabric stores are all going out, they've gone out of business, and so they're selling off all of their inventory, but they're also selling their fixtures. And so Jason and I went there Thursday evening after work. Well, we went to one, and I found this rolling cart, like this big red rolling cart that had sliding black shelves on it. And it's at $100. And I thought, well, this is actually really nice. I could use this for supplies and stuff. And so it was sitting in the back with a sign, $100, no sold sign or anything on it. So we start rolling it through the store. Well, then like the manager comes out, she's like, excuse me, are you wanting to buy that? And we're like, yeah. Oh, well, that's already spoken for. And we're like, oh, well, there wasn't a sign on it. Oh, I know, but somebody's gonna come pay for it in a few days. And so then Jason was like, you wouldn't rather just have cash now? A guaranteed sale? No. And so it's like, okay. So we were like, well, do you have any more of these? And she's like, no, this lady had spoken for the only two that they had, and hopefully she was going to come pay. But if we wanted to come back on Saturday today and see if it was still around, maybe she'd work something out. And we're like, forget that. So we were like, okay, we'll go to a different Joann that was actually closer to our house. And they'd never even heard of these red things. So I guess each store maybe is different. But I found a display. So I'm going to try to describe this. It's got a square base on wheels, like heavy duty wheels, because this would have been, it turns out that it was in the fabric section, but I don't know that that's where it lived originally. But anyway, it's got this base, and then it's got a pegboard in the center with steel frames around the sides and the top so that you can then hook on these big heavy duty wire baskets. And so I was like, well, that actually is probably better than that red thing I was trying to get. And so we found the person that was in charge of selling the fixtures, and pretty much, in case you're by a Joann and you're interested in storage solutions for your home, or if you have a small business or something, you might think about this, but pretty much you could mix and match any of their fixtures in the whole store. So if you wanted, and most of their fixtures use pegboards and stuff. I happen to want this one that was a rolling portable one, but you could also buy the shelving systems that are stationary. But anyway, so the one that I got was 2 feet wide, maybe, if I were going to guess, maybe maybe a little bit more than that, but not 3 feet wide. So it was either 2 or 2.5 feet wide. And in the center, it's got the pegboard, like I said. And it was $80 with 3 shelves, like steel basket shelves kind of thing on each side. But she took us back to the warehouse part, I don't know, where she had more pieces that you could interchange with any kind of pegboard, even pegboards you might have at home. And so at the end of the day, I ended up wanting 5 basket shelf things on each side. And I also got some kind of flat pieces that I guess they would use for the jewelry beads thing. So I got 4 of those. And the idea was that any extra pieces you got were $5 a piece, or if you got hooks for the pegboard, those were $2 a piece. So, and I also wanted shelves for the very top of it, so I got 2 shelves. And then I got kind of like these plastic bookends that I can double stick thick tape, can put it on. And then I got 2 of these, not this, but 2 of these that had been embroidery floss things. So it can hook on to the pegboard too, or I'm probably just gonna have it sit on top since I filled all my space with buckets. But so I got 2 of these, and then Jason found a tie turntable thing that would have had stuffed animals hanging off of 2 sides of it, and then some kind of boxed thing on the other 2 sides. So it like has cubbies on 2 of the sides and then hooks on the other 2 sides. So he got that for $15. Why did he need that? Well, he collects all these little figurine things, so he's gonna put those on them. And then mine I'm gonna have in my office, and it's going to hopefully help me be another source of organization, so I can have like a basket for things I get from Temu that I need to do in a Temu haul, or things that are ready to be sold on Whatnot, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, so we walked away from that with $210 worth of fixtures. So, and only 15 of it was for his tie spinny thing. So yeah, so she was a very good salesperson for the fixtures. So yes, we did that. So I'm just kind of overwhelmed again with all the stuff. It's like, stop leaving the house. Please be a hermit. Stop spending money. In one of I'm just randomly switching topics now back to the auction. In the auction that I won all the leather for $1 and all the Reader's Digest books, I also won about 15 of these dowel rods. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but except for a cat toy, maybe. Ew, you probably shouldn't put that in your mouth. But they're really good dowel rods, and I think those will come in handy at some point in time, even if it's to go on hooks to be a hanger. But yeah, we see it's a nice little toy here for Peanut. So there were those. And then, so once again, the leather guy, I found this leather wallet, and it's lined. It's in really bad shape though, you guys. I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's recoverable or whatever. I don't know. My dad is the leather expert. I mean, it's in really bad shape. I can't imagine it's going to be salvageable, but I did ask if any of the kids wanted to learn how to deal with leather, because now I've got these 2 big boxes full of leather, and to see if any of them wanted to spend time with my dad this summer learning how to make stuff, and they can sell whatever they make. And Galia said she'd like to. So just as an example, like this is the kind of pieces of leather that I got in all different colors. So some of these I want to cut into rectangles to sell as journal covers, but there's going to be, of course, like pieces that could, maybe she'll want to make earrings or little wallets or something. So yeah, so the box is full, and this is maybe a medium-sized piece, but I have smaller pieces, I have bigger pieces in all different colors. And like this one is like a buttery soft one, but some of them are more like Bible leather that are kind of, well, they're the kind of leather that's not buttery soft. It's real leather, but it's, I don't know what they do. I don't know if they emboss it or if it's just treated differently. But you know how, like with some Bibles, there's texture to the leather. So some pieces have texture. This one has more like, well, just normal creases from being rolled up and that kind of thing. So I got to find out from my dad how to clean this for one thing, because you know you can't just stick it in the washing machine. But I also don't want to have to take 2 whole boxes full of leather to the dry cleaners. That would be crazy expensive. And I did find like a wiry, not a wire, well, kind of a wiry brush, but more like a, like it had lots of bristles and they weren't super hard. So I feel like maybe that was used to kind of brush off the unfinished side. So yeah, but yeah, I got all those pieces of leather for $1 along with a bunch of other things. So that felt like a good deal. Random Monopoly card. This is the only one I found so far with the stuff that I've gone through, and it's 1936. And somebody's asking me if I want chocolate ice cream. So hold on. I might want some chocolate ice cream. Oh, okay, never mind. They're asking, one of my kids is asking my other kid if she wants, or telling her that they don't have any chocolate ice cream at the Dollar Tree. Okay, then I found this random rug. I don't know what this is, you guys. Is this just a sample? Like, what is this used for? So it looks, it's a full-on embroidered rug with the fringe on each side. Is it for a dollhouse? And then it's got this like a rubbery kind of finish on the back. Is it from a sample book? You know, we have all these rugs. This is what it would look like, only in miniature. I don't know, because it was the only one in the package. So I think it's really cool, and I thought, well, maybe, you know, it could be kind of folded into a journal cover or something, but this rubber backing is not like glued down. It doesn't feel like completely to this. So when you fold it, you get kind of bubbles. But maybe if it's full enough, it wouldn't matter. But like, I don't know what I'm going to use this for, but it's really cool, so I don't want to just get rid of it. But yeah, so anyway, I thought that was cool, so I thought I'd show you. Like I said, this is going to be a weird haul. Well, let me turn the sound off since they're not talking about anything that I'm interested in. And that's rude for me to like pay attention to them while I'm talking to you. Okay, then I found, so the person that had the leather, I think would sell pieces. So there were a bunch of these kind of sold cards, which kind of felt retro-like to me. So when I saw those were so far I've only come across these, but I know one of the random boxes that was on the bookshelf that I won had more of these in them, but I thought these would be cool kind of pieces of ephemera. And then also in that leather lot was this super old Gems of Poetry book. And I love the cover. I need to find out if there's a way to kind of restore these old linen book covers, because they have such detail to them, but sometimes it's hard to see after the years. And then what does it look like on the inside? Well, it's got textured paper and it's got a really good patina on it. Does it have anything interesting in it? Aside from the fact that every poem begins with kind of a cool letter, no, not that I'm seeing. Like, are there any cool pictures? Because that's me, all the pictures. But this book, where's the publication date? I know I found it at some point. Where did I find it? Oh, it says it's got engravings, but I don't see a year on the front or the back, but I know I found one, so hang on. There's not one back here. Maybe I found it online. In any event, it was from the 1800s. But I don't see that in here, so I must have found it online. Okay, well, here's a engraving, I guess. So anyway, I really like this kind of thing. Anything old like that. I also found this book, which is all... Okay, well, this was one of my Mother's Day presents. I also found this book, which you can see it's kind of damaged here, wrapped, so who knew what it was, right? But then let me see if I've got the front or the back. Okay, this is Art and Decoration, an Illustrated Monthly, Volume 2. So somebody has gone through and taken Art and Decoration magazine from November to April 1886 and put them in here. And so I thought that was really cool. Definitely have gotten my dollar's worth of value and helped pay for some of my other things that maybe weren't quite as valuable. But anyway, so there's the cover page, and it says 1886. Oh, I said that already. And then, you guys, because it's a magazine, it's got all of these ads. And I personally love old ads. But then it's also got this old artwork and more, I mean, because it's art and decoration. But personally, the ads are much more interesting to me. So it's what, 5 months worth of magazines in this one book. So, and it's old enough I could scan. Now that, of course, would mean I'm possibly damaging the book. Does the cover, but see, so even though we saw the water damage on the outside cover, okay, well, the cover's not anything spectacular. But, so this, I mean, both of those two old books in and of themselves, if I were able to find the right buyer, oh, Yuck. Okay, now my pants are brown. Ugh. Yeah, that book is very, very gross. I mean, it's just old. So yeah, so these pants, now I have to wash these pants. Ugh. It's almost like rust, but it's not. It's book rust. Okay, then I found in that same group a bunch of patterns. So we've got pattern for mom's panty and nightgown. And some of these, I don't know if it was, yes, it was this one where they just made patterns out of newspapers. So that's a true seamstress, right? They can make patterns out of just regular old newspapers. So I'm kind of hoping that this is here's the envelope for the pattern, a great glassine envelope. There's a few, it's like there's instructions, but you had to create, well, there's some tissue paper in here. But yeah, some of it is just newspaper. So, so yeah, that was kind of interesting. I don't know what to do with that. Like, I know people buy patterns, but I don't think they really buy patterns like that. And then we've got top from mom's house dress with pleats. So I guess I'm just gonna use it as paper, right? Just paper. Margaret's pant dress, need 2 7/8 yards of 45-inch material. And again, none of these have traditional, well, I say that and then look at this one. So here's a traditional pattern, but not like a McCall's or anything. This is Ann Adams patterns. So, okay. And just a furniture card that I thought might be interesting. And then Margaret's pajama patterns. So I don't know. I guess I'm just hoping there's interesting paper I can harvest out of that. And then I found these German almanacs, maybe? Which I thought these were cool, even just the picture. So 1971, 1977, all in German. And so the inside is all German. So in the beginning, it's got the months like you would have in a traditional almanac. Well, I'm sure this is a traditional almanac for Germany. Like, I don't know why they have this. Unless they were, I don't know. I don't know. So it's just, I mean, and then the rest of the book is just kind of, like, it's not as fun as a as a American almanac, but it does have some cool pictures of people in their traditional kind of costumes. And it's got pages and pages of German book page is really kind of what it is too. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll sell these as is because they're in really good shape, or if I will harvest them. Maybe I'll try to sell them as is first, and then if after a while they don't sell, then I can harvest them. Then I got from eBay, I got the yellow book that I was missing in that set that I've been showing you guys. So now I have all 4, red, yellow, green, and blue. And I'll probably be showing these on my Junk for Goats channel in a future book flip through. And then, you guys, I'm so excited about this. I also ordered these from eBay because these, if you can look these up on TikTok. Well, that's where I've seen people flipping through them. I will be doing a flip through of these also on my Junk for Goats channel, which is listed below. Please hop over there, subscribe if you like. If you need a break during the day to relax, it's kind of an ASMR book flip through kind of scenario. It will eventually, soon maybe, have some videos where after I do the book flip through, if it's one that I'm breaking down to sell, I'm also going to be recording that part of it so that as a educational training. I know some people I like to watch videos of people creating things that they're selling on Etsy. So, but anyway, I got this in the States. This is an English magazine that's a competitor for the Flow paper book. And in the States, you can usually buy them at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if you can buy them anywhere else. And I don't know how often these come out. I think these came out last November maybe. So I had to buy them off of eBay because they were long gone from Barnes & Noble. But I did find, I think in the States, so they say 24 or 25 euros on them, but I think in the States, Barnes & Noble sells them for 33, and I found, or 30, and I found somebody on eBay selling them for 33, which I thought after this period of time, that was a decent markup. I didn't feel like I was getting cheated. But you guys, it's a book full of paper. And this is the botanical one. So it's just, so like there's postcards here, you know, nice papers, cards. Like I said, I will do a flip through on the other channel if you are interested. And then it's got a couple different journals in it and stickers and bookmarks and invitations. And of course these, okay, well this one came unstuck. So this is one of the journals, and in watching people on TikTok do these book flip throughs, this almost always gets torn, but since it fell out on its own, so it's got a couple of these journals in it that's ready to use as a journal. So if you like the idea of journaling, but you don't want to be a junk journaler, you just want to journal, well, you know, here you go. And then there's also a couple sections, there's like 4 different pullouts of wrapping paper, which is what one of these are. But of course, this is all just botanical themed. So you got some tags, they're all punch outs. And so just some cool, and some signs that you could frame as is. And how am I gonna use these? Because I don't do a lot of crafting myself, but yet this would be kind of a weird thing to break up to sell. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna use this as my thank yous for people that order things from my shop. I think I'm going to, you know, I like to put a freebie in with each of my orders. So I think I'll pull stuff out of here because like there's, like I said, bookmarks and stuff, but there's also a few, like here's one, like cut out this envelope, and that's what it would look like on the inside. So I could cut out the envelope, fold it, and include it in as the freebie. And then this was the other one. So both of these are the ones, and this was the cottage collection. I've not seen anybody else do, I don't know how many years this has been around, but last winter these 2 came out, and I am not aware of any others coming out at that same time. And I don't know when any more will come out. Like I said, I don't know if it's a once a year thing, but it's deck chair Press. Deck Chair Press is the manufacturer of these. And again, it's an English company, but so is, well, no, Flow Paperbook is maybe Dutch, but it's European somewhere. But yeah, so this is a competitor, but this one, so this one's more cottagecore kind of stuff. And it's got the same postcard, not the same postcards, but it's got the same kinds of things. It's got scrapbook paper, it's got postcards, bookmarks, tags, artwork, journals, wrapping paper, stickers. So, I mean, I'm showing you kind of, well, here's a better cottagecore. I'm not really sure what all counts as cottagecore. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I know it's got botanicals and mushrooms and like quirky rabbits and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's chock full of goodies. So they are still available on eBay, but shop around to get a good price because some people are selling them for like double the price, which seems crazy. But why not? I guess that they got it when they could, and it's just like the people that go to, you know, TJ Maxx and all those places scoop up all the good stuff so they can sell it on Poshmark for a pretty penny. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do with the stuff I buy at auctions. I'm trying to sell it for more than I paid for it. All right, then at a different auction, I got all of these napkin rings. I didn't want napkin rings, but it came with a lot of doilies, which I did want. So here's the other napkin rings. I mean, they're pretty, but my family's not fancy enough to want to do anything with napkin rings. And then just a cute book. And like I said, these are some kind of random things. So crossword puzzles, coloring books, Sudoku books, Gone with the Wind, somebody named Harrison for Democrat for Supreme Court out of Granite City, Illinois, which keep them in your prayers. I think one of the St. Louis tornado, I think, went through there, or at least when we were stuck in the basement with the sirens, they were acting like it was going there. It went slightly south of my house, so we squeaked by on that one. And we've been, I don't know, you guys, has it been bad everywhere? Because I feel like it's been bad here this season. Worse, more volatile than normal. Okay, so then this was almost my favorite thing that I found in all of this. And it's going to seem silly, but it is the paper that we used to practice our penmanship or learning how to write. So I got a stack about this big of this paper, and I got some other kinds too, because one of the auctions from last week, the guy had been in the school system superintendent, or he at least ran for superintendent, because I have a whole box full of pencils. But so I got a whole stack of this. So this is going to be showing up in my shop at some point. But this, like this vintage paper, you can get this kind of paper at the Dollar Tree now, but it doesn't have this kind of patina. And you probably can't tell, oh yeah, you can, that it's got a pink line through, you know, so it's, I don't know, it's just cool. It was definitely one of my favorite finds in that. And then a garden book with all these pages that I can pull out and harvest for my botanical ephemera. And then all of the doilies. I was hoping to find a vinyl one, which I ended up finding some vinyl ones on eBay and got those but these are still pretty. And I can still, I think, use them for what I was wanting to use them for, which was to tea and coffee dye paper. You use, well, I know it works with the vinyl ones. I can only assume it might work with these too, but you get your paper, you soak your paper in your tea or your coffee or whatever, you set it to the side, you put something like this over it that's got texture and different kind of holes and stuff, and then you add some more coffee or tea over it, and then it creates the pattern as it dries. So just a bunch of what seem like vintage doilies, but who knows, they might not be old, but they felt old. And yeah, this one definitely feels old. I mean, I remember having doilies when I was a kid and using those to kind of decorate. Like I had one of those round tables next to my bed, one of those like particle board tables that had the 3 legs coming out, or 3 dowels or whatever coming out from it, and then you'd put a like a flowery cloth over it, and then you'd put a doily over it, and then your lamp and stuff. And of course, the generations before mine had doilies for everything. This is a really pretty one too. Pretty vintage one that could be a, oh, it looks like it's kind of folded like somebody could have used it as a book cover. I know some people do use that. And then you've got these kind of knitted ones, different shapes. Oh, quit trying to get in the box. Pistachio's over there trying to get inside a box. Okay, and then I don't have too many more things to show you guys, but there were also these, which are, I guess, clothing bags that are advertising pieces for these companies. So I don't know if you'd pick up your dry cleaning in these or what, but Jaeger's men's and boys clothing, Litchfield, Illinois. I know I have a viewer that lives kind of in that area. Maybe you remember Jaeger's. Then kind of a vinyl kind of one and another one. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet either. And then there was a couple of these framed cross-stitch pieces, handmade in the Philippines, 100% cotton. It's nicely framed, and it's a pretty picture. What, you know, that's like a girl at a girl at the beach maybe. And then I don't know if you'd call it a matching one, kind of, yeah. And again, copyright the American Design Company, 1990, manufactured by Storehouse International Corp, handmade in the Philippines, 100% cotton. And to a very special grandma, which I just thought it had kind of cute pictures you could take out. And then a kind of a botanical image, which this is the Heartfelt Collection, Roanoke, Virginia. I don't know. I don't particularly care for this myself, but I'm trying to tell. I think it's actually a pattern in the thing. I don't think it's, I think that's like on purpose. But, and then move, cat. Oh, I do have, I've got a, what is this? Death Valley Days? The Glory of Clemson Football. Oh boy. Well, you know, if I wanted to, George Burns. I was gonna say if, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would do with this. But that's the thing, right? Sometimes you get weird to me. Oh, well, I like that picture. This old picture of them. So there's that. And then the last thing I want to show you is this toolbox. This came with the leather working guy. And it is full of old fixtures that have oxidized. And I think I'm running out of time. I think the family's home and I'm gonna have to stop. But just like super old, like I said, oxidized, so they're kind of, you know, turquoisey. That, I don't know, maybe I can use them for something. Door knockers. So that seemed like kind of a cool, whoa, what the heck? Does that all go together, or is these, no. Okay, so there's this, and there's this, like, I don't know, this is, like, there's all, I don't know what they were originally, how they were originally used, but yeah, so it's just a whole thing full of those. So I don't know, I don't want to clean them up because I like the turquoisiness on them, so I may try to just sell them as is. There's probably collectors out there. And then the last thing I'll show you that I can see is, Jason got this for me yesterday at Walmart, I think. And I had a $10 credit left on my Whatnot account, because if you, so in my description below is my Linktree thing. If you are not familiar with Whatnot, it's an online auction that does live auctions. And if you use my code to sign up for an account, you'll get $15 to spend on auctions. But if you become a seller using my code, I get something and you get like $100 to, you know, I think it's a matching thing. If you sell $100, they'll give you $100 kind of a situation. But I think their offers may change daily, so don't count me on it. But I guess I get $5 when somebody just downloads the app. So, and I had 2 people download the app using my code, so I had these $10. So I finally found there was a purse, a strawberry shortcake round purse that Walmart had that I really wanted, but it was 40 bucks. So I said, forget that. Well, I found it on Whatnot for 10, but it was missing the crossbody strap, so it only has where you can, you know, carry it as a handbag. So I'm like, well, shoot, you know, for 10 bucks, that's a good deal compared to the other. So I went ahead and ordered it. Well, when Jason found the hat, he's like, I think those purses were marked down to $5. I'm like, what? He's like, well, they didn't have any, but it looked like they had been marked down to $5. But they didn't, like I said, they didn't have any more. And so then I'm thinking, well, shoot, now my 10 bucks seems like a lot. And considering I'm missing the strap, and so I was, you know, like complaining. And Jason's like, well, I think there was a loose strap just laying there. And I'm like, wouldn't that be hilarious if the person I bought it from had bought it at that store and had missed getting the strap? But I'll show it to you guys when it comes. It's a really cute purse. But yeah, so I guess that's it. I thought that the family was home. They're not, but I'm out of stuff in here to show you, and we're already at 54 minutes. So I'm gonna stop this so I can get it uploaded. I don't have the nostalgic TV trivia for this episode. I don't have the cards up here. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who have stuck with me. I continually, daily lose multiple viewers. So for those of you that are still here, thank you. I am probably going to hit 0 before I could have hit 3,000 viewers, which is also, I think, partly why I'm kind of depressed about the whole thing. But it is what it is. Not everybody's going to be a rock star on here. And so I just appreciate those of you that choose to share your time with me and watch these videos to help me get the views so that I can earn a little bit of money on this channel, that if indeed Temu's gone back to normal, that I can start plugging back into Temu things, which is what you guys really want to see. So I feel like I've been talking 50 miles an hour this whole video, so I apologize if it's just seemed kind of hectic. It's because that's how I feel. I feel very hectic. And okay, can I tell on myself? So my last video, I felt like I was having a really good hair day. I even said that in the video. And so after, I shouldn't tell on myself this way because it just makes me seem very, very vain. But anyway, after that, as that video was uploading, I started going through and watching the video and stopping it every time I would make a different kind of a face, because I'm kind of animated in these videos sometimes. I don't know. You guys are my outlet. You're my therapy, and I probably shouldn't use you as therapy, but you guys, I was not kidding when I said this on my last video, but I had been depressed for a couple years prior to starting this channel. I started this channel, I think, in July of 23. And I was on medication, but the medication, you guys, if any of you have been in this boat, you know that it's really hard to get the medication for depression correct, because for one, the person on the medication is depressed, and so your view is skewed in a unrealistic way. And so I think the goal typically is just to get you feeling more like what you think yourself should be. I don't think that came out quite right grammatically. But anyway, when I started this channel, I was excited about something again. It was almost like I had purpose again, which sounds really sad because I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a employee, I'm a child of God. And why did I feel like I didn't have any purpose? Well, that's the depression, you know. So anyway, this channel really lifted that for me, and I was able to stop taking the medication because my environment had changed enough that I wasn't depressed anymore. So you can address depression through medication or through environment, through exercise, you know, all these things. And this helped me. So that was going great. And then all this stuff hit, and then I started losing viewers, and it just felt like people finally figured out who I really was, that I'm really not interesting. I'm really not exciting to watch. I'm really not a good hauler and just, you know, someone who can describe products. I'm not buying all the cool things that people want to see. So you can see that the depression started to set back in, and it's still here. It's not anywhere near the level it was before when I sought medication. But, you know, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the blues, the temporary blues. But yeah, so it unfortunately means that I have a lack of motivation to film these videos, but this is the most I talk during the day, is when I do these videos. No one in my family is really, well, a couple of my kids are talkative, but in general, I'm just not a talkative person. And so this is an outlet for that. So all of that just to say, that's why I'm so grateful for my Holler Time family, because you are a family to me. And so that's kind of why it hurts to lose subscribers. And it's totally fine to lose subscribers. That's totally, everybody, it's not like when you subscribe to a channel, you're locked in forever. No, that's silly. And it's not like I expect that, but it still is sad to lose members of the family, because I feel like you are members of the family when you subscribe. So yeah, so I don't know. That's the funk I've been going through, and it creates a lack of motivation, unfortunately, which is reflected in the deserts between my videos. And it's kind of thrown me off the deep end in the other things I've been buying. It's like the other things I'm buying are not helpful to this channel. It's not, I need, Temu was helpful to this channel because it created views, it created all, you know, stuff, that content that people wanted to watch, which then in turn helped the channel financially. Like this month, I'm probably not going to make enough money to get paid on the channel. And I don't know, I don't want to care about that, but I guess I do. So, and I don't even want to talk about that kind of stuff on here because that's depressing. Why are we talking about that? But like I said, you guys are kind of like my therapy family. So I know some of you really do care about me, and I can tell because of your comments and those of you that reach out to me via email, that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate that. And even if you watch every video and you never say a word, because I do that with a lot of people, I still appreciate knowing that you're there. So thank you. So 15 minutes later, after I started my thank you to you, thank you for your time, your views, your likes, your dislikes, your subscriptions, your memberships. All of that really help, and I don't convey to you often enough just how valuable that is to me. And not really from a monetary standpoint, because like I said, this channel really doesn't make any money, but from a mental health situation, it saves me from needing therapy, although I probably do still need therapy, but who doesn't? Anyway, what'd you guys think of my sarcastic title on my last video? I kind of want to go that route for all of my thumbnails, because I'm so tired of YouTube trying to force their SEO constraints on me. I wanted to say, forget it, you know, but, and let my sarcastic side come out. So anyway, well, Peanut and I will say adieu for today, and thank you one last time. And wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.